Hey guys, Armando here with another installment on my T800 buildup, and we're getting very close to the end now. This is my base, and I've pretty much finished it. And yesterday I received the board from Ralph at Tenacontrols. Nice miniature board, as you can see, very tiny, as well as this usually very detailed diagrams, which are perfect. And this is designed to make one Terminator glow and another one intermittently glow like it's trying to power up. We discussed this. I wanted a custom board made, and he came through. We'll be wiring that in today in this video. I've already hidden the wires from the ruined Terminator skull in the grout. I drilled a small hole through the grout and the wood, threaded them through there, and they emerged from the bottom. And I recovered it with another piece of grout, which is dried. I just have to blend it in with some airbrushing so it looks like the rest of the landscape. And the T800 is waiting. Once I have the board all in and I've wired this through first and soldered it in place, the last step will be to glue the T800 into its base. I have the two steps all set up with the holes here and here. I'll be using CA glue for that. So I'll come back when I've had it wired up, and I'll show you what I've done. Okay, I'm back, and these are the two switches I have available. I've got a round switch and I've got a small momentary switch, which will be the one that allows me to turn on and off the standing up T800. This will just control the power for the whole thing. I'll be using a 9-volt battery because I want this thing to stand freely with no wire emerging from the back. And since it's only two LEDs, this should be sufficient. I'll have to fashion some kind of a bracket on the bottom so the 9-volt battery won't fall off, and after I do that I'll show you guys. But let me show you what I did here. I had to core out a couple of spots for the switch, the switches. Let's see if I can show you. Tough without my tripod. Okay. This will go right here. I'll glue it on, and it'll be wired in. And the momentary switch will go in right here, and the wires will emerge from the bottom. I wanted it to be nice and neat. I wasn't quite happy with the way I did it with the Bates Mansion. The wires were hanging out the back and glued to here, so I wanted something a bit more firm. Hopefully that'll work. I've already tested it by laying it down with a switch, and it doesn't interfere. It stands up on its legs without any issues. I used a Dremel 561 bit, which is a drilling and cutting bit. I got it at Home Depot. Since they don't make any small jigsaws for cutting, I looked to see if they had cutting bits, and sure enough they do. This thing cuts, as you can see in the diagram. Even with a guide, you can make cuts, you can make drills and cut across the wood. And it's designed for that, so it was pretty nice. I highly recommend it. I got a couple of them. I also got some tile cutting bits and router bits, which allow you to create trenches and such. And I expect I'll probably be using those as well. Anyway, I'll be back when the switches are installed and everything is set up. Thank you. Okay, just a brief update. I have soldered in the power supply. That's the battery, and I'll interrupt it here with this switch. I've also soldered in the, where is it? Here's the ruined Terminator's wires coming in. This will be soldered into the appropriate spot, and I have threaded the regular terminator's wires through. Let's see if I can show you these a little better. I drilled a hole. Oops. Right here, which emerges through the bottom, and I drilled a hole for the green one, which emerges down the bottom. So now I will solder in those two, and the reason I have to do it like this is because the negative one for both the regular terminator and the ruined skull goes in the same lead on the board, number 8, according to the soldering diagram, so I had to do them both at the same time. Anyway, just a little bit of creative drilling and soldering. I'll cover up those holes with a little bit of grout and texture it in with the airbrush so it looks like the rest of it, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're back, and I've completed all the soldering and wiring and arranging of wires. Here you can see the board from Ralph at Tenacontrols. All the wires have been soldered in, and I've already tested it. It works. The cables are all glued in place with CA glue. These are the ones that go to the momentary switch, which turns on and off the regular terminator, and this is the switch that turns on and off the whole thing. And the battery, I had to core out a segment in the size of the battery using the other Dremel tool, the grouter tool that I'd mentioned before. As it turns out, I used it a lot quicker than I thought I would. Very effective. I was able to core out the shape of the battery just enough, a couple of millimeters, to sink it in so it wouldn't bump against these things, because as you can see, it was almost as thickness. If I hadn't done that, it would have touched the floor rather than the legs, and that would have screwed up the whole thing. And then I improvised, and I took a holder from my tool drawer here, one of these holders that you use for piping and tubing, and I bent it into shape and screwed it in position, and that's how I'll hold the battery in. Whenever I need to replace it, I'll just loosen this up a little bit, turn it, and remove it. So the whole thing is fine. Now the last step, the last two steps really, are gluing the terminator onto the base and hiding the wires, and finally the plaque, which is still not here, hasn't arrived. I expect it'll probably be here sometime this week after Jerry over at HDA Model Works has completed it and sends it over. So I'll be back with the completed assembly and show you that. Okay, here he is now glued in place. I'm going to add some more grout to secure him, because I am not completely sure that he's going to be okay until I secure his feet a little bit more, but that's his permanent position. And I have the lights going. I will turn them off for a second, and I will turn off the overhead and show you what he's supposed to be doing. So first of all, let's show you the ruined terminator. Can't see it very well, but watch his eyes. They're trying to power up, and they die. And then again, a surge of power, another surge of power, and it's too much, and he dies again. And then again, waking up, and that's what he's supposed to do. Now this guy, he's on right now, So I hit the momentary switch and he powers down. And there he goes. He's powered down. Now I hit the momentary switch again, he powers back up. So that's what the board does, and it's working to perfection, as do all of Ralph's things. So all his boards are excellent, and he did exactly what I asked him to do. So I am very happy. I just need to complete his securing on the floor and make sure that the extra wire I had to push through the holes is glued in place and doesn't rattle around in the bottom. And then finally the plaque that will go here someplace. When I get it, I'll figure out how to put it on, and a little touch-up work on some of the extra grout that I put to hide the wires. But all in all, I'm very pleased. He's looking very menacing and stepping on the skulls the way I imagined him. Okay. See you later.